picture gets clearer, the static starts to fade. A brand new foundation by the collective has been laid. So let them call you crazy with your tinfoil hat. It's a necessary filter for the mindless chit-chat. They broadcast their agenda, selling lie after lie, while drawing strange new patterns in a crisscross sky. But that hat ain't for hiding, it's an antenna now you see. Tuned into the frequency of the minds that wanna be free. The frantic search for answers you once did all alone is now a data packet uploaded from your phone. So polish up your helmet, there's no need to ever doubt. We're the ones who see the signal when the rest have tuned it out. On your mind now, tune into the beat. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective, in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice in control.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah. Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective, in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice in control.
What is going on, Hive? Today's Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. And tomorrow is Brian Koberger's sentencing. We are going to be getting into the predictions. I, as usual, have a lot of fun making these theme pictures. And this is actually Trump and Ann Taylor and Brian Koberger smoking joints together. And Ann's thinking, damn, maybe Molly did do this shit. Trump's saying witch hunt, and Brian's like, I was on effing Reddit. Then you got Anderson Cooper down here saying Brian Koberger is a Russian spy. So, as I said, I have a lot of fun doing that. I always look forward to these streams. I enjoy popping in here and saying what's up to everybody. I see Misinformation is here. Saw Gabby Girl, which I owe you an email back still. It's in my inbox. Chantelli Lay says dream blunt rotation. That's hilarious. We got Amina in the house. 1111. What's good? Nick, how you doing? Nelly, Tiffany, Justice by Media, Jennifer Yadab. Thank you. Good to see you. And I also saw Adrian and Claire with the super chats to start this stream. Thank you so much. As always, I appreciate those. You're exactly right, Rebecca. Soul fire within. The difference between a conspiracy and the truth is what? 6 months, maybe. Sharon's in the house. Dina, Aurora, Janet. Inside your Bones says, I want in on that circle. Mary, Jody. What's up, Miles and Claire? Rachel. Rachel, who lives near the ice wall. Epic. That's awesome. Chocolate Empress, the UFO dog, True to It Connections, Chris Ward, Granny Mo, Monique, River Bear Teacup, Teresa, Motoman, Rip Ozzy. That's right. It's crazy. He just had his last concert like less than a month ago, 2 weeks ago. It's wild. What's up, Luna? Hello, Nikki. I don't know if you're from Britain, but I felt like saying it that way. Another super chat from Sherry. Thank you so much, Sherry. I appreciate you. And that is right. Lisa, go ahead and hit that like button, as Phoenix says, as well as some other people in the hive. Leave more touch DNA on that like button than Brian Coburn left on that sheath. Damn it. ATL Drew. Lisa's from the UK. Where's everybody else tuning from? Hello, Gaffna. Hey, Kelly. Sherlock's in the house. What's up, Les? South Africa. Kentucky, UK, Kentucky. Let's see. Illinois, Kansas. Toonie's on his own tablet with Birdie. That's awesome. What's up, Toonie? You got a cool mom. North Carolina, Texas, Minnesota, New York, New Bedford, Indianapolis, North Carolina, Texas, Tennessee, Nicaragua again. Welcome to the hive. Florida, West Virginia, Ohio, Tennessee. I love this chat as well, Sherry. The hive down under, Florida. Oh, that's funny. Between Chantilly Lace and Euphoric, they come with the funniest locations that they're tuning in from. Festive's had a couple too where she'll be like, I'm right behind you. I'm like, oh, hey, Festive. Sherry, thank you again. You rock. Wow. Incredible. Well, I have Phoenix Talks backstage. Welcome to the hive, everybody. If you're just tuning in, I go live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Central. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Buckle up, everybody, because I have 5 predictions, and I genuinely tried to be as accurate as I could when it comes to things that have a really good chance of happening. Not so much on the legal end. I think we've all discussed the options legally. It's Garza v. Idaho, change of plea, total exoneration. So I tried to think in tune with the hive as far as putting my tinfoil hat on and as a contrarian thinker. So buckle up for that. And Sherry, geez, I hope your phone's not just stuck on super chats at this point. That's awesome. Thank you. And if it is, just let me know and I'll send it back. All right, let's see. Where's our girl Phoenix? What's Gucci?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Well, hello, Birdie. Hello, Hive. And hello, all you amazing digital gifters. Oh, my
Yes.
God.
That's incredible. Thank you all so much for that. So, Phoenix, give me your first initial thoughts when you saw Trump, Ann Taylor, and Brian smoking joints.
I thought, man, you are creative.
I don't even know how I came up with that. I'm like, could you imagine if they're all just going to end up like hanging out together? Like what would they be doing? Thank you so much, Aurora. It's the best part of my day as well. So thank you for being here.
You know, I think it was funny because someone said, I wonder who told Trump, and I put a little birdie.
I mean, I will say when we were talking with Devil's Advocates last night, I know you were in the chat. I don't know if you were if you were in here for this part. We started asking like how would Trump find out? Was he briefed about it? You know, and then somebody in the YouTube comments actually brought up how Steve was on Good Morning America, and if maybe that's how he saw it. If that's a show that maybe Trump watches, I don't know. But then also, you had said the DAs got involved.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Attorney General,
Or
DA.
Attorney General, that's what I meant.
You know, and I'm sure that Josh Hurwitz is on the fence too. I'm sure somebody put a little bird in his ear. But you know, if Pam Bondi says, "Hey, over at the DOJ, let's do a little investigation," I think that was Trump's way of saying, "Hey, I got my eyes on you, Idaho." I got my eyes on you.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Man, the Hive is just opening up their wallet tonight and being extremely kind with those. Thank you. I feel like what I've learned about living in America with Donald Trump as our president, it seems that whoever he talks about or whatever he talks about as far as tweeting, more times than not, there seems to be a reason or a calculated decision. I'm not saying there hasn't been just absolute wild shit, but in my opinion, I've thought a lot about that Truth Social post as I was making my predictions. I took that, and so did Devil's Advocates and some people in the chat as well. I think a lot of people in the chat did. The discernment and the temperament was a little bit like, it wasn't, hey, I'm going to go and lock this dude up and throw away the key. It almost seems like he's putting them on notice. Like, hey, I'm aware of this.
Absolutely. I'm watching. Kind of like I see you, Idaho. And the reason I said that is because he put in there know nothing. Know nothing. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is just a distraction." No, it's a like a microscope. Hey, Idaho, you're under that magnifying glass.
Well,
And then
Steve G
again,
wanted
Steve
to put
G
him on the
wanted
map.
him to be on the map.
Yeah, yep, look at
Great
that.
minds think alike.
Exactly. And it's funny because for my predictions tonight, as I talked about in my intro, that I did not want to just go down the cliche, classic, what everybody else is talking about, what we've all talked about before, as far as what could legally, change or challenge this sentencing. I think that's fairly obvious, not to be disingenuous about it, because it's all that would be crazy if he did full exoneration, if he changed his plea, if he says anything. I think we can all agree that those are
Yeah, and
pretty
Trump
obvious.
can't do anything at the state level. He can federally, right? He hasn't been sentenced yet, so he can't be pardoned. I think this was just his way, Trump's way of saying, I'm aware, I see you, Idaho, and what the hell are you doing constitutionally? They're still trying to do this.
Well, and that's to misinformation's point. This is why I love the Hive, because
Nothing
I
there.
I have, whatever's going on up here, right?
Oh my
Caffeine
God.
and ADD. But, like, it's whatever's going on up there. I'll read a comment like this. And this is what I absolutely love about the chat is it helps me put it into words. And so to misinformation's point about he knows there's nothing there, I think he's quote unquote watching them because it's connected to something bigger that he knows about. Well,
Yes.
okay, that would make sense. If there's a lot of infiltration by powerful drug networks,
Yeah.
you don't become a powerful drug network, in my opinion, and without being involved in it, and more so, I think it's fairly obvious. Doesn't matter if it's America or another country, you don't get to be a large global drug network without law enforcement, judges, court systems, lawyers paid off.
No, because they have to admit there's a problem and they don't want to admit there's a problem. And there is a huge pipeline that was taken down. So why not just tell us the truth? The public, the American people.
Yeah.
I think we can handle that more than, hey, there was another operation going on. Because you know what? I think it leads into the fact that we caught on before they told us. We are growing in power to understand how these operations work.
Yeah, exactly. We are growing in power. And I want to go back to a point you just made, Phoenix, about we can handle it as the public. We can handle it. We're all, how can I say this? The government doesn't need to coddle us. And I think sometimes they take that role. I equate the government goes and breaks our legs and then says, here's some crutches. Aren't we amazing? No, you just broke my leg. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like they're doing.
Yeah, or slapping your finger, get your hand out of the cookie jar. You're not supposed to be over there. Focus over here. So I think that this case is setting a massive precedent to those who were not awake. I mean, Bertie, I've gotten emails and messages. I thought maybe he was guilty. I think maybe they're feeding us a line of BS. Or I woke up this morning and I started thinking about you and something you said or Bertie said, and now it makes sense to me. So people are starting to see what we've been sharing and educating on.
Yeah. Phoenix, look at Debbie's comment too. Trump knows what it's like being accused of a lot of things he never did and how mainstream media lies. And
True.
Debbie, thank you for the comment and thank you for being here tonight. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Whether or not you agree or disagree with Donald Trump, I think we can all agree. Whether you agree, disagree, agree. I said that a lot of times, but he has endured a ton of slander, whether you love him or hate him. I mean, there's people that, love and hate us, Phoenix, and on the small scale,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it like gets to us, but it's like you see it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, love him or hate him, he's still an authority figure. He's still our president of our free country, and we still have to give him some type of respect, whether it's not earned or not. But it's one of those catch-22 things. It's we want the truth. We can handle the truth. Why not just give us the truth? If Brian was a CI, if he was a Fed, okay, they did this because they had to catch the other perpetrators, or they had to catch, and take the pipeline down to the biggest operation. And I guarantee you, nothing was trucked in. Most of that shit was flown in. And so there are some videos floating around, these theories that how this stuff happened. They were actually flying these drugs into certain states and moving them through Idaho. So,
Yeah.
and we're not talking a little tiny bit of drugs. We're talking massive amounts per week.
Right. And I just want to say there's people that are, some people are like, don't get political. I'm not getting political. I'm just saying that,
No.
like, let's be honest. You're the president of the United States. Doesn't matter what president you are. You're going to be on the news. You're going to be dug into. You're going to be whatever. So it is odd that a homicide case, yes, while national media, it is weird that think of how high up the level of being president is to comment on that and saying there's nothing. That's what I'm getting at, Hive, is I don't think that
Well,
that's a normal I don't think that's a normal thing.
Well, I wouldn't doubt if Trump is watching this case, because knowing all the legal cases he's been in, he sure probably knows some things.
How
And
many
that's
murders has
where
he talked about, Phoenix?
none, nothing even in the true crime case. I mean, ever. I've never seen a president talk about a true crime case in the crime community, period, other than, the Innocence Project or something like that. Not, and I think he's watching this from a state perspective.
Right.
Yeah, he
So
didn't say anything about Diddy either.
right, exactly. And thank you, Crystal. I appreciate that. You rock. Aw, you watching with your mom? I
My mom
appreciate
loves
both
you.
of you. Yes, that is amazing. So, all right, let's get into it, Hive, huh? I will be live streaming the hearing tomorrow. It is at 10 a.m. Central, so I will hop on at 9:30 a.m. Central. Live reaction. I'll have it streaming. It's going to be on Court TV if you're not able to tune into the live, or if you just got to have it on the background. I will be going live. I'm sure a ton of other people are as well. Phoenix, if you want to, I don't know what you got going on tomorrow.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it, but
Yeah, so I'll be streaming, but I thought court was 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, so that's 8 your time.
I'm just saying I'm going to go up.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
starting at 9:30 Central. The
Oh, okay.
hearing
Got
starts
it.
at 10 Central. Yep. Or
Yeah.
the sentencing. Yep. So that is tomorrow. That live is scheduled, so that'll be up. Make sure that you turn on the notifications for that. Now, as a reminder, here's what we have coming up, Hive. We have a very busy week ahead of us. Starting on Sunday, July 27th, we have the Hive Mind Roundtable with Truth and Neurons, Robin the Redneck, and Sherlock Romes. They have all confirmed. So thank you to you three for confirming that. I will be in touch by the end of the week with the StreamYard link. Monday, that following day, we have Scott Payne, the undercover FBI director. And then Tuesday, it'll be Devil's Advocates and Ali Benevento. So we're going to have a lot of shit to talk about, I guess, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
And make sure if you are not in the Discord, go to the YouTube channel, click more, scroll down, join the Discord, have the link downloaded on your phone prior to doing that, because there's a lot of updates in there, and Dawn is crushing it, helping make sure that everything stays on track with the Discord. So thank you again, Dawn. And There's updates. There's a lot of, making friends. It's everything that the Hive is. It's a 24/7 headquarters for the Hive off stream. Quietly DG says, author and lab owner on live today said prosecution is working on information to answer BK guilt question. Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. So
What a fabulous lineup.
yes, absolutely fabulous. We are very lucky. I'm honored to
And
be
you
able to
guys,
interview both of them.
I mean, this Hive needs to share this big time with every single person that you know. This
mean, if
week
you
is
think
going to be on fire.
it is going to be on fire. If you think about this, and Hive, let's toot our own horn here. Because again, the Hive wouldn't be what it is without everybody in here. I genuinely, truly believe that with everything in me, because there's a lot of lives. There's very few, if any, like this. We hit our 2-month anniversary on YouTube, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, something like that. We had got 10,000 subs, but we got a guest who was on Joe Rogan, and we have Ali Benevento, who is in the top 5% of lawyers.
Whoa, Sherry.
What the fuck? Sherry, jeez.
Jeez, Louise.
Sherry, thank you so much.
We must be doing something right, Birdie.
Wow. Thank you, Sherry.
You are generous, Sherry, unless you got hacked. Nope, no, just kidding.
No, that's incredible.
That's awesome. That is amazing.
When I just
we
saw
must
that
be
in
doing
my mind,
something
I'm
right.
like, that's incredible. Thank you, Sherry. You are now on the permanent top dog list. It's you just started it. So thank you so much. And that leads us into our question of the day from my beautiful wife, Mrs. Birdie. She says, besides the Idaho 4, are there any other true crime cases that seem off to you, where the narrative we have been fed is far from what you believe to be the truth? And her and I were talking about this in general at dinner, and a couple other times throughout this case as we discuss it. It's like, yeah, it's close to being over, but it's not at the same time, right? The discussion, I believe, with sentencing is where a whole new conversation can get started after tomorrow's over. As far as the other cases, Phoenix, do you want to start?
Yeah, because you're right. This case, somebody said, oh, this case is over. He pled guilty. This case is just starting. Any other cases that were off to me? Well, there is one open investigation that is off of a missing autism boy out of Tennessee, and it started 2024-ish. And some of the things happening behind that case, I kind of let it down and just put it to the side, because there was a big teen trafficking ring being taken down at the same time that was on the hush hush that people didn't understand. And by this teen being missing, it gave the FBI and a couple of other different agencies to go in and look into the missing teen and the parallel investigation of the trafficking, which is absolutely happening. And a lot of people were saying, oh, don't talk about that case. You can't talk about this case. It was a lot sus. It was very sus. So that's one of the cases.
That's interesting. That sounds like an interesting one.
It
For
is.
me, I would say that this hit the headlines, but I haven't seen the headlines too much. Riley Strain.
Yeah.
And I think we've been completely fed BS lies about the smiley face killer incidents.
Yeah, well, their parents did file an actual lawsuit against the fraternities. So, we always suspected it was the frats, especially the video that I shared from the clip from the court. There's a courthouse behind where he disappeared on the CCTV, and you see the frats riding scooters, and you see two people carry a body right into that riverside. So if that footage hadn't been released, they probably couldn't move forward with the frats. And there was a member that sent me a message trying to get me to share a different side of the story. And I started looking into and questioning this guy, and he actually was a frat father that was a football player that was coaching at the frats at the college of the frats. And immediately I knew that it was the frats infiltrating to get them to move the story. But it's a sad story.
It is. It is. And there's a lot of similarities between Riley Strain and the Smiley Face Killer in general, right? And I don't think we've ever been told the truth about that whole situation, especially so being up in Wisconsin and near Minnesota, like the La Crosse and Oshkosh area have had some, so it's like not that far from my house, but that's one of them. And the reason why I actually chose that one is for a Hive Mind Find message that I got. And this is really funny how this person started this Hive Mind Find. When I read the email, I just copy and pasted it. Funny story. Over a year ago, my girlfriend got into the Idaho 4 case, starting with Truth and Transparency, then Pavarotti, and then Bertie. They spelled it Bertie. I couldn't get a minute of her attention. I was actually jealous of you and Pav and Lana. So I decided if I can't beat them, join them. And for the last 6 or more months, I've been completely into this case. You talk a lot about small town colleges. My daughter goes to Mizzou University in Missouri. They went on a formal trip to Nashville. My daughter and her boyfriend took a bus ride. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but if you talk a lot about small town colleges and kids, and then this kid that shows up dead in Nashville, I've not really dove into it. I was just curious what my initial thoughts are. Do you think it's worth looking into, or am I crazy? I'm assuming, and I believe that their subject line was Riley Strain too. I was convinced this was a Smiley Face Killer. I'm still very partly concerned about the amount of times that it's happened. And do you know how many investigators are looking into it, Phoenix? On record investigators.
Oh no, how many?
Two
Wow.
detectives that are retired. That's
Well,
it.
it wasn't, I don't know if you know, in a clip on a news clip, this girl shows up to watch the news clipping of the Riley Strain case, and she has a smiley face on the back of her phone. Did you see that?
I did see that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, same thing is in the Idaho 4. You see the handprint on the car, then you see the handprint on the
Mhm.
window or whatever. And it seems like this is part of the overlap. They try to mind screw you and put some of these clues in there to make you think it's totally something else.
Well, and here's what's interesting. And I'm going to use the examples of the Smiley Face Killers and just how completely I guess steady the targets are. They're always the
Mhm.
same. They're
Yeah.
always the same. They're somewhat popular, usually in a frat, usually athletic, a lot of friends, then just randomly stumble away, don't really tell anybody, end up in a body of water. Is there water in their lungs? Is there not? There's always suspect circumstances. And, I don't think that we can ignore that this might be a group of law enforcement doing this.
Or some type of agency. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, like I said, it's the psychological kick. They got to throw you off. They got to get you thinking something else.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you for that. I have one more Hive Mind find that'll be a quick one, and it's a TikTok that this is something that I think we all kind of just brushed over, but if you listen to it, it is interesting.
By the Idaho State Police. That sheath was tested by the Idaho State Police Forensic Lab, and single source male DNA was found on the snap of that sheath, as well as blood from both Kaylee and Madison.
And Maddie.
And other trace evidence.
And
it's like
evidence.
So where my
What
head
would be
goes is
other-
like, especially when they said Maddie, Kaylee, they said it came from Brian, and then other trace evidence. Well, what is it, Bill?
Well, what is considered other case evidence? Other trace evidence. What would other trace
Hair?
evidence be?
Spit?
Well, it could be hair, fibers, glass, fragments, filaments, paint chips, gunshot residue, fire debris, other trace evidence.
I'm actually just gonna look that up quick. What would be
Fire debris,
considered
oil, dirt, tool marks. I mean, it could be any impression.
Yeah, I'm just looking this up quick and I'll read it. So this is interesting. So we have the obvious biological stuff, right? Skin cells, saliva, urine, vomit, sweat. But then everything else is pretty much all material based,
Correct.
meaning dirt, wood, metal shavings, grease, cosmetics or lotions,
Gun residue.
pet hair,
Mm-hmm.
gunshot residue, drug
Exactly.
traces. It says drug traces or paraphernalia residues. Wow. So I wonder if that's why they said it that way.
Well, if it was other DNA, he would have said other DNA, but no, it was other trace evidence. And when
Yes,
you
you're
look,
right.
yes, when you look at the wording, then you understand, was it gunshot? Were they really shot like we heard the Gonzalez say? Or was it, we've heard a racking of a weapon? Um, what other trace evidence would it be? Fibers, hairs, what?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head with he would have said DNA evidence. He would have said
Yeah,
he said trace evidence.
he would have said other biological
Yeah,
evidence
or
or
that's what I meant. Yeah.
DNA. Yeah.
Yep. All right, Phoenix. Buckle up because this next slide is the predictions. So I've been excited to share this with everybody because, like I said, I
Oh,
tried to think outside the box and have, you know what? I'll just play this song here quick.
Please retrieve your nearest tinfoil hat. Place hat firmly on your head. Prepare yourself.
And, well, it wouldn't be right if I didn't get it. I'll be right back, Phoenix.
okay. And this one, the top one, makes sense, Bertie. That top one is a good one because you do know that the investigation is still open to find out who the leak is.
Exactly. And the way that I actually worded it, I that's the only way I could think of how to word it with how my thought was. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Koberger gets sentenced exactly to what the plea was, and then the news cycle is just filled up with other shit.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, like
It's over.
it's over. Yeah, there's gonna be something else that grabs the nation's attention. You know.
Uh-huh. Another
Now the
case. Yeah.
now the second one, there's been a ton of talk about Palantir, right? We've looked into it. I think their stock's going to go up if Brian Koberger gets convicted. And in addition to that, I was looking up private prison companies.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that their stocks are going to go down.
Possible. I could see that happening because wasn't this supposed to be the test case?
Exactly.
And look how badly managed it was and badly unbelievable it was.
Yep. And so I'm going to ask, so what private prison companies have publicly traded stock? I think one's like Corvic or something like that. Or I think it's like Corvic. Yeah. So, Core Civic and the Geo Group. Both are on. Yep.
Yeah.
Core Civic is on NASDAQ and the GEO Group's on New York Stock Exchange. So you want to know.
Screenshot those tonight and then we'll see what it is tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to do that right now. Guess who has a facility in Idaho?
Geo, don't they?
Nope. Core Civic.
Okay. Core Civic.
Yep. Directly in Idaho. So I'm going to look up their stocks right now. Core Civic. All right. It's at $19.73. And let's look up Geo Group.
Make sure you screenshot Palantir.
Yep. Geo is at 23.67. And sheesh, I might have to throw some into Palantir, except I don't support that shit. They're at 149. And their earnings are expected soon.
Oh, yeah. They've got
Guess
to
when their
prove
earnings are going to
themselves.
come in?
The end of the month, no?
Yeah, August 4th.
Oh yeah.
It's like, because that's what there's a lot of times with these major events,
Oh
stocks,
yeah.
they follow them.
There is a huge meeting this week in Sun Valley where I was married many, many moons ago. There is a huge conference. Huge. Giant tech companies. I wonder if
So,
they're attending that one.
right. Yeah, no kidding. I actually think it'd be more weird if Trump didn't post another Truth Social post, almost like hinting at they're hiding something big. I think that he's going to, based on that first Truth Social post, if I had to guess, if there's nothing that comes out and they don't do kind of like what he was saying in the Truth Social post, which is like admit to what you did, or like why, explain yourself. If that doesn't happen, I can see another Truth Social post happening. This one is probably the most like courtroom based one, but for whatever reason, I try to think through who's going to say what. And the only person that I could go to that's probably going to get a lot of mic time that has a good chance of slipping up, because they have in the past, would be Judge Hibbler, referring to a sealed agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't even know if that's what they'd call it, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then the last one, guaranteed, without a doubt, I don't even know. You could write home about this one. The media outlets are going to use pre-written coverage, word for word, and all have identical posts within minutes of this
All of
sentence
them.
hearing being over. They're already ready to go, everybody.
Yeah, yeah. They've got all their Q's and their P's and whatever you want to call it, their scripts.
Correct. And so I'll ask the Hive 1 through 5, which prediction do you think is the most likely? 1 will be at the top with unrelated media leak. 5 will be at the bottom with pre-written coverage. Which one do you think is going to happen more likely? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Phoenix, what do you think?
Definitely 5. We know that. We've seen
Well,
it
fine.
before.
1 through 4. 1 through 4 then.
1 through 4.
5's an
Okay.
obvious one.
I don't know. The one about the stock seems more palatable to me, especially if Palantir stock goes up. What is it at right now? 149?
149.
That one seems more probable.
Like, and I guess I would ask the Hive too. If that happens with the stock prices, is that plausible? I actually, I'm not even going to say plausible, because I think it is. Is it confirmed that they're involved in this?
You know what? I bet you that's exactly why Trump quoted. That's why he commented. He knows the inside. He knows what's going on. Somebody has
Damn.
been in his ear.
Pelosi invested. That's what happened.
Or shift.
Yeah. Well, there's like a literal trading bot that's just Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, which is hilarious. But I think that the stock price for me, that's something like, as probably most people do, you just have that app on your phone, just on the iPhone. Yeah. I'll look at that and I'll just see like what's going up, what's going down, especially like after I see something online. Like, oh, I'm curious if this is affecting it. And more times than not, it always does.
And if I had to guess, I would follow the money and say it has to do something with the stocks.
We've been following the money this entire time. So I'm curious, what country is Palantir from? Oh, it's an American company. Palo Alto, Cali, and Denver,
And it's
Colorado.
also high tech. That's why I said they're having the meeting out there. I wonder if they're going to be part of that meeting in Sun Valley.
What's that called?
It is just a IT tech conference. Just do IT tech conference in Sun Valley, and I know it was either last week or this coming up week.
They are absolutely going to be represented at this year's Allen and Company Sun Valley Tech Media Conference in Idaho. Isn't that hilarious, Hive?
I'm just
Wow.
putting my prediction out there. I did see that a little while ago. Somebody in the chat did remind me. The only reason I noticed it because it was going to be in Sun Valley. I was married in Haley, which is technically Sun Valley at Bow Bridge. So it was interesting because I do still keep in touch with a lot of the Idaho media. And it is an IT media, isn't it?
Well, so what's interesting is their CEO, Alex Karp, is actually giving a keynote speaking presentation.
I wonder what his presentation is about.
Yeah. You guys just watched the biggest American psyop in history right
Backed
down
by
the
full
road.
stock.
Yep. Their main themes, I'm just curious now. So their main themes at this conference are America's strategic AI leadership, the technological republic, and you're never going to guess what number 3 is.
What? Prisons.
AI and national
National
security.
security.
Oh my
Ah,
God.
oh my gosh.
You
And what
can't make
have we
that
been
up.
no, what have we been focused on? AI and helping us solve this case.
I mean, holy hell. So that's a little bit weird. Their stock's going up. You know, this is not financial advice, everybody. But I would guess their stock's going to go up. You know,
Somebody said it went down this week. Watch it go up.
yeah, right. I agree. And same thing, Sherlock. Surprise crypto isn't in there too. Phoenix, briefly, I'm just curious, like Hive, type of 1 if you're in favor of crypto, type of 2 if you're not. I'm indifferent about it. I just want
Mhm.
something that's like decentralized so that the power can go back to the people and we're not, you know, having a dollar based off of nothing. Now people
Right.
will say, "Oh, I don't understand crypto. It's not backed by anything." It's more complicated than that. It's hard to explain to people without,
E
yeah,
What
you know what
gets
I mean?
me is you can put your money in, but you can't take it out. And it can all be digitally traced.
So there's a lot of 2s, there's a lot of 1s, and here's something that one time I found was interesting is that people don't understand the dollar value goes up and down as well, just like crypto
Mhm.
does.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know. But I did hear this guy talk about a prediction with crypto and how it will slowly be integrated into everyday purchases. And I thought this was so interesting. So they were using the example with how I'm saying crypto. You guys, if you know crypto, you know what I'm saying. I'm talking in broad terms here so everybody understands. But they said what they could see happening and what they predict happening is that price tags will have the USD and then they'll have whatever like approved stable coins. So to say like if you went to go buy a loaf of bread, it would say USD 4.99,
Mhm.
XRP, whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
BTC, ETH, and have different prices. I'm like, okay, I could actually see that happening.
What a
That doesn't
mess.
seem like a crazy change. That's just labels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A totally cashless system. I get it. As long as it's not a challenge coin, I'm good with it.
As long as it's not challenge coin and as long as it's not that the central bank digital currency.
Yeah. Or a Trump coin. Would you?
Did you hear about that, dude? Somebody apparently made a shit ton of money. They put like, I don't know if it was 6 figures, but whatever. It went up like a shit ton of money. But you know what? I've never found that unicorn coin, Phoenix.
No,
I,
me
you
neither.
know, I wouldn't tell anybody, but there'd be signs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Oh, yeah. That's just like winning the lottery. None of my
exactly.
family would know, but there would definitely be signs, which they kind of questioned a couple years back. But, it is what it is. You don't go around
Yeah.
and tell everyone you found the unicorn.
Yeah. So I'm indifferent of it with crypto. I've always said my goal as I age is to never stop learning and never be technologically behind the curve. I'm not saying that I've got to be on the forefront of the latest and greatest, but for example, like with AI, right? AI, it's not going anywhere. Just like a cell
Yeah.
phone's not going anywhere, and it's not worth fighting it. It's going to become a part of you, and I just don't want to be the parent where my kids are doing something with technology and it could be potentially dangerous or it's risky or whatever it is. And I just want to know how it works more so.
Well, I think the fear behind the whole cryptocurrency for me personally is that, as long as you're not doing anything shady with your money, they're going to catch the people doing shady shit, right?
Right.
And I think that's the biggest fear because obviously cash is king. Cash, you can't really, it's somewhat untraceable, but crypto, you'll never get away from it. You'll be traced.
Right, because it's on the blockchain and
Correct.
you can manipulate the dollar. It's people are saying you can't regulate crypto. While that may be true, the blockchain is forever.
Yeah.
The dollar with cash can disappear. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I think personally that it's good to know. I would encourage people to like look into it so you're not scared of it, you're not afraid of it, you understand the basics of it. But going back to this stock price, I would be curious if with AI, you want to hear something that I heard that was absolutely terrifying, Phoenix, and I don't know
Tell
if
me.
anybody's heard this. With I should actually have queued this video. I saw it on X. Somebody was saying that AI will be able to one day simulate a prison sentence in a day.
What?
So, like mentally, they're saying they were trying to say that like AI can make it seem like you just served 20 years,
What?
but in the real world, it's only been one day. Like, I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm actually going to look this up because now I sound like a crazy
Okay,
person.
now you got me going. Now I'm
Yes.
thinking that this whole test was in Idaho and that this whole AI thing that Palantir is going to roll out is something similar to that, right? Because I know we
Yeah.
joked around about Neuralink and Musk and all that stuff. So what if this was a test case that failed badly, and now they're going to talk about it at the
Yeah.
conference?
Yeah. So I'm just asking, is there an AI system or some sort of invention? Yes. So it's like it has everything to do with a neuroscience punishment theory.
Hmm.
It's being developed. It's to simulate. Actually, I'll just pull this up.
Well, shit, that sounds like a parent that just tells their child for 18 years they're a POS and they're never going to accomplish anything and this and that. Is that like neuro punishment?
Well, so what's interesting though is I'm going to read this. You guys tell me if this seems like a stretch. The core idea is to artificially manipulate a person's perception of time. So a 10-minute experience feels like 10 years. That's not sci-fi. It's a combo of neurological intervention, meaning drugs, stimulation, virtual reality, sensory deprivation, cognitive time distortion using AI generated environments, and consciousness manipulation through memory feedback loops. There's real tech behind this with documented research. That's insane. How do you guys feel about that? I could not wrap my head around. Like, would you guys feel that? Let me ask you this: if it was legitimate, so and take murder out of it, but like, let's say you robbed a bank and you got 14 years. In the real world, you're doing 30 minutes, but you truly believe you did 14 years. Is that fair? Is it enough to rehabilitate you? That's what I would be curious about. Because scientists have used VR environments to trick people into believing much more time has passed than actually has by simulating sunrises, sunsets, changing room layouts. AI control. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. AI controlled NPCs who age over time. The University of Sussex ran trials where people underwent extended time experiences in VR that distorted their sense of minutes versus hours. The
Oh my
DMT.
gosh.
Wow. So they're using DMT in time loop studies. People under the influence of DMT report what feels like lifetimes in a trip that lasts 15 minutes or in real time. You combine this with AI simulation environments, and you could create a prison in the mind where the subject experiences decades. DARPA and private neural research firms are very aware of this. Then
So
there's
what, they don't
neural
have to put
looping.
them Put them in a prison. That'll eliminate prisons.
Yeah, you just got to go to a timeout in a courtroom, pretty much.
Oh, shoot. Is there any way to do this? Like you worked all the way your entire life and you get to retire early?
What do you mean? Oh,
You get all the benefits of
yeah.
retirement?
And then you get out and you realize like you met your dream wife and she's really just an NPC that's AI
Yeah.
programmed, and you come out into the real
Yeah.
world and you're just
That's some
depressed.
scary stuff, guys.
Look at
That's
what it
some
says. For
dangerous stuff.
maximum effect, they don't, just to your point, Phoenix, they don't need to build prisons anymore. They just need to
Mhm.
build perceptions. Time is subjective, and they've got the tech to weaponize it. You think justice is blind? Wait till they blind your brain to the clock. That is terrifying. And I guarantee you they're already using this as a torture method somewhere in black ops sites. In black sites. Guaranteed they're doing this somewhere.
What if they were using it inside of a game?
I don't know. Maybe. And then somebody just said, well, yeah, I know League of Legends or something. I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure they're studying the shit out of it. And somebody just said, what about your own aging? Well, you wouldn't age that much in real life because it's only be 30 minutes. You just feel like it's 15 years. And I'm sure the AI would simulate your own aging in that VR.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could come out and feel like, oh my God, I worked forever. It was only a day, and now you're retired, and you can't even enjoy retirement because now in your mind, you actually feel older than you really are in the body.
Exactly. And now, like, I've always thought too, like, tech that they release to the public for entertainment, for social enjoyment, like those VR goggles. Like, I'm like, how long have pilots been flying with VR goggles at nighttime?
Oh yeah,
Or
true.
something on military missions, you know? I heard a theory. I have my tinfoil hat on for this one. I heard a theory that most tech that's like highly classified and they need to, shoot, what's the word I'm looking for to the public? Not release it, but
Roll it out.
no, disclose to the
Test it.
public.
Oh, disclose.
Okay. I only know this because I was doing a series for the liquor company, and obviously that's involved with golf. So I was doing, the biggest scandals in golf. And then I was like, I'd be curious about, like, is there any golf conspiracies? And do you know that at right around the same time that titanium had been in the military, a retired, I don't know if it was Area 51, somebody though who worked on this shit, developing it, was the one who released the titanium golf clubs, like the drivers.
Oh wow.
And redesigned the golf balls with dimples. And you look at UFOs and UAPs, that some of them had dimples on them, some of them are smooth, but the dimples allow for a straighter, more accurate flight path. And then the titanium. So this guy's theory was that they released this tech into the public via social enjoyment. So it's like, yeah, we had this titanium. Look at how bouncy this metal is and look at how durable it is. And we've had this, but we're going to put it in the golf clubs. We're just going to have the patent for it. And you guys are all going to buy $1,200 drivers every 4 years.
Well, that's weird because I have a custom set of Callaways, and I think they are titanium, but they're for short people. So I'm wondering, the way you just experienced and said this makes me think, and this was a long time ago that I got them. They were pretty expensive.
Golf clubs?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I had them custom made.
Yeah, I'm sure they were even more expensive then.
Yeah, they are. But you know what? When you talk about that with AI, that's scary stuff, right? Because I mean, somebody just said it in the chat. You can use it for good, but then there's some really evil stuff you could use it for, right? Um, you know, I guess if they're using AI, you can go one day and say, I want to know what it's like to be married. And then if I don't want to be married, then the next day you're not.
Maybe we're already living in that, Phoenix.
I don't know. The rate of divorce, I would say, yeah.
Oh man.
It was just a thought.
I think that the universe is way more complex than what we've been taught. I don't think that that's a a statement anybody is shocked by that I just made. I think most people in here feel that. But I do believe that we've been taught faux science about it. And I do
Mhm.
believe that there are capabilities in this realm and even within us that have been shielded or have been not taught about, because if you're not taught about them and you don't know they exist, you can never tap into it. I've always wondered if like all of the superhero comic books, like the superpowers, like being able to fly, telekinesis, whatever it is, it's like, is that really someone's imagination or did that exist at one point? And then you start to look at like who owns these media companies and who they're connected to, and it's always like connected back to someone way high up, you know?
Yeah, true. So true.
So I don't know. I mean, we talked about, I believe that we talked about the telepathy tapes, right?
Oh yeah.
If you guys haven't watched that, or I believe that lady was on Joe Rogan as well, but I think there's a documentary on Prime or Peacock.
There's all kinds of things you can tap into.
Right, but with the telepathy tapes, with the children who are autistic, they were saying that, what was the number of kids that they interviewed where they were literally telepathic and reading people's minds, and they all said that they would communicate at this place called The Hill.
I'm trying to remember. Let me see. It had to have been more than 100.
I don't know the exact number. Yeah, I'll look it up quick.
Yeah, yeah, you got that little thing in your hand, right?
Yeah, how many kids in the telepathy tapes were able to go to the hill? So it's searching. Yeah, euphoric. I
Time.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
remake that movie. Okay, so here's what it says. In the Telepathy Tapes podcast, The Hill was a telepathic chat room where non-speaking autistic individuals are said to communicate collectively. Da, 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 da. I
Yeah, let me
think
see.
it says that there was 3 kids nowhere near each other. This might be a different episode, but anyways, it's pretty much just about like we are all connected
Mhm.
and we
Yeah.
can communicate in different ways. It
We
was a
do.
really
I
good.
mean, look at the chat. They're communicating while we're verbally talking, communicating. They can't interact with us. It's not like a Zoom where they can get up here and interact unless they're up here in a box. But like UFO Dog just said, I can have lucid dreams. There are a lot of people that do have lucid dreams. There are a lot of people that can tap into the unknown. Um, I believe honestly that you can tap into anything if you really put your mind to it.
I do as well. Do you know? So I tried this when I was in like 8th and 9th grade. So it's a while ago. But me and my buddy, when that movie, where is it? Where at the end of the movie, the top, you don't know if the top that's spinning falls over.
Top
It's
spinning.
not, it's not the movie where they take the drug and access the rest of their brain. Somebody's gonna say it.
Not
Inception.
limitless.
Inception. Thank you,
Inception? Oh,
Brian.
yeah,
Yes.
Inception.
Yeah. So like we started trying so hard to be able to consciously dream. Okay. And the thing that we researched, and it kind of started to work, was if you have a dream, you keep what's called like a dream journal next to your bed. And when you
Mhm,
wake up, you're supposed to write that dream down,
mhm,
all the details you can about it, because apparently then your brain, when it'll pick up on, similar patterns in the dream, and then you'll realize mid dream, I'm dreaming, I can do whatever I want, is
yeah.
a layman's version of it. But I think I've said this conspiracy before too in the past. If you haven't heard it, this is trippy. You know, the nights that you can't fall asleep, and you know how we all talk about collective consciousness.
Mhm,
I think I said this with devil's advocates, but it's like, what if the nights that you can't sleep, it's really for no other reason other than the universe needs a certain amount of conscious minds. And
Oh,
then when you sleep in, It's because there's too many conscious minds already
Awake.
awake. And then that's why half the world sleeps while the other half of the world
Yep,
is
yep.
awake.
Okay, so misinformation just said what I was going to tap into next. Deja vu. I have deja vu all the time, and I turn around and I say out loud, I'm on the right path, because that's what deja vu is for me. If you know that you have deja vu and it's happening again, then you're on the right path.
See, I think of a way more morbid thing, and I think it's because somebody traumatized me as a kid. They're like, deja vu is a checkpoint that you died in the last life. And I'm like, or in the past life. And I'm like, so now every time that happens and I start feeling deja vu, I'm like, what is it around me right now that could like final destination me? You know, like it's so messed up, but that's genuinely what I view it as. I'm going to start doing your method,
Yeah,
Phoenix. It seems like it's more mentally healthy.
yeah, you're on the right path. It's a check that you're on the right path. What just happened and you experienced it, you registered and it triggered in those neurons and fired up all those neural links, and then it says you're on the right path. So think about it that way.
I've also started doing whenever I walk through a doorway, just specifically in and out of our house, I'll always say a positive affirmation. I've actually gotten into the habit of doing that.
Good.
Which
That's positive.
yeah. So then it goes out the window with the deja vu where I'm like, there's going to be a giant fucking freaking car tire that comes out of nowhere. So I got to keep my head on a swivel. But
No logs on the highway, please.
yeah. All right. Well, let's get back to this because there's a couple other things that I want to talk about with tomorrow. And Devil's Advocates brought up a really, really good point where he had said that he's going to the sentencing.
Yes.
And he was saying, is somebody going to hop the bar and, go after
Try to go
Koberger?
at him.
Because there's a lot of people that believe he shouldn't get, as he quoted, 3 hots and a cot.
Right.
What do you think? Do you think that's even a possibility? I feel like
I
there's going
don't
to be
think
too much
so. The
security.
level, yeah, I don't think so, Bertie. The level of security is going to be so tight and high. You heard Hippler say in the last hearing that I think we can accomplish this and we'll have more marshals. He thanked the marshals. If you've never been into Boise courthouse, it's got some good security, but the extra security in the room you saw. Yeah, if they unleash him and he gets off those shackles in that orange suit, he's going to be that ninja that you guys will never forget.
You hear Koberger yell
Not.
out, "Somebody throw me a K-bar." You know what I mean? Like, that's so bad. But I mean, shit, he clearly knows
His
his way how
ninja
to defend
hands.
himself, right? Jesus H. I mean,
His ninja hands. God.
yeah, like literally how Sammy T said, like that one chick in Kill Bill in the yellow suit doing backflips with a samurai sword to get out of the
Oh
way.
gosh. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Like
No.
I just
Now that would tell me we're living in a movie.
wait, plot twist. A female hops the bar and absolutely beats the shit out of Brian Koberger, and he's not cuffed. And everyone's like, shit, maybe he didn't do it. He just got jumped in 10 seconds by that chick. He couldn't go into a house. You know what I mean? Like
Will said, he's a
yeah. So I'd be curious. Let's find out if Brian Koberger is innocent or guilty. Let's put him in an octagon with the 3 girls and Ethan. Or like the same body weight, body type, everything. Let's see if he can do it. Let's have him lay down, take a nap. I don't think he could do it.
No,
because
so.
I guarantee those rooms are smaller than an octagon.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I don't see any plot twist tomorrow. I see a bunch of hurry up, let's get this over with, hush hush. And Ethan Chapin's parents said they are not attending, and then rumor had it that maybe Kaylee's family is not attending. So I don't know about the last part, but it is a rumor.
Well, and I think wait, say that again. What was the last part?
Ethan Chapin's family said they are not attending, and allegedly Kaylee's family is not attending.
Well, and now, do you remember Ethan's mother saying, like, she's like, there's no point in worrying about it. And she was kind of just saying, like, it's not going to bring him back. Right. It was, don't get me wrong. It's a healthy outlook, but it could also be able to be said that way in such a healthy looking manner
Mhm.
if she knows he didn't do it?
Exactly. And then you know that Patterson, this new book that's out, they actually sat down with the Chapins and they are friends with Patterson. So that was kind of sus. And then the documentary was basically about the Chapins. There weren't any other families there, really.
Yes.
So I
Um,
mean it just
yeah.
looks sus.
I was just gonna say something too about Jesus, Chantelli.
Tag is Steve Barton. Oh
Oh
no.
man. But what I was gonna say is I just don't understand. Like, again, God forbid I'm ever in this situation, especially with the high profile nature of this crime.
Yeah.
The families, I don't think the families have really been, and I don't know, the way they made it sound on Amazon, they've been extremely harassed. I don't know one other than the big media companies, what, 4 times over 3 years?
Yeah.
Right? It's not like they're not doing Steve G type level stuff. So I don't understand how as a mother and a father you wouldn't want to go. Do you think they
You
would go
know,
if it wasn't high profile? Because I don't think they would.
well, allegedly, they met with the prosecution and they learned some new things. That's why I was looking for interviews tonight to see if Steve G or anybody has anything to say about that. But the way that Steve G makes this sound, it makes it sound like she was tortured. And if Ethan was found the way they say he was tortured. None of this could be done in 7 minutes. And obviously, Brian Koberger is the fall guy. So I'm waiting to see if they're really going to sentence somebody they know is innocent.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I
and the
just
the
yeah.
families' discontention with each other's families, like some are okay with it and some are like not okay with it. The lack of unity, and we've seen other cases where some of these families are bonded by trauma and they get through it together.
Mhm.
These families are so spread apart.
Well, and I've always said this. It's like I'm not saying that this is fake, but like they've never even been able to look and see
Mhm.
what is going on. And I feel like whenever you're refused to do that, whether as the public, but especially the family,
Yeah.
no transparency. I don't see
And
how there's any other conclusion that there's not something going on behind the scenes.
well, there were other cases too in that area. There was uh some other girls that were their apartment were broken into, but this guy had a knife and it was a couple months before this happened, but this guy was a little shorter. And they closed that case, no investigation, never found anything else. And there are some other things that happened in that area that makes me think that this could have possibly been some other gang.
I think it's
Other
obvious.
and I
I
don't
think it's
mean
obvious.
gang. I mean, a group of people.
I just think it's so obvious that it's not one person. I think it's weird. It's weirder if it's one person because that timeline, they're they don't even care to investigate the accuracy of their own timeline for one
Yeah,
person.
when I put all those 3 documents together and I figured out a timeline in 7 minutes, I was like, "This is impossible."
It's
Well, did they not think
impossible.
anybody was gonna look at those things?
Well, that's what I started to think then, where I'm like, no, they wouldn't put this on the news. They wouldn't have all of these oddities and not know people are going to look into it. So then I started thinking maybe, maybe this is all meant to expose corruption. Hence why Hurwitz is involved. Hence why Pam Bondi's talking about the gangs up there. Trump just did Truth Social. Is this some giant take them all down in one quick sweep as far as corruption, gangs, drugs? I don't know. Judges.
Yeah, and
Did it
like
wake
we
people
said
up?
from the beginning. Well, I don't know, but remember from the beginning, we've always said that we don't know if he's guilty or innocent, but if he played some part, he should be sitting in prison, right? If he did
Yeah.
some I'm not saying he could possibly done the unalivings, but if he was part of this, then absolutely she'd be sitting in prison because that's still an accomplice.
Yes, and Chad, we have dove into that, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is it's down to the T pretty much.
It
So
is, and we've been talking about it for a while. So the only thing, I mean, I watched Pavarotti's new video. I don't know if you've seen it, Jay Embry. Um,
mhm.
the only thing that he got wrong is that Ben did not snitch, and there are gangs involved in this, guys. And I'm not going to name the two individuals who gave them up because they are still out there. They still have to protect themselves. These people involved in this case are still involved in things that could cause them danger. These criminals that have been put away and taken down from the cartel and the gangs, they eventually will get out of prison. And if they could run a whole operation like they did while they were all out and somewhere in prison, I guarantee you they have people on the inside that will do work for them on the outside. And these families need to stay safe. If this was your family, you would want them safe and protected. Yes, there's a lot of similarities, but there are some people involved that are not involved that were mentioned. That's the only thing I have to say about that.
I agree. Do you think that Brian's going to talk tomorrow?
I do not. He started silent. I think he's going to remain silent.
Me too. Do you think that Ann Taylor will say anything?
I think Anne has had enough to say.
Do you think that the state will make a comment?
I don't think they'll make a comment. I think they're going to stay hush at this point.
Do you think that the victims the victim's family impact statement, because one of the other predictions that I had that I could just totally see is one of two things. I could see the Gonzalez. Well, so you're saying Kaylee's family's not going, but I could just see I could see somebody, whether they're there or they're not, because I feel like the Gonzalez's are going to make a statement, right? Whether they're in a courtroom or not, they're going to talk about it. Now,
Well, that was a rumor. I don't know if they're going or not, but somebody just said that they did meet with the prosecution and they got some more information. So they might speak.
so my prediction was that they were going to say something about, like, I tried to visualize how it would go, and it was something along the lines of like start to say it and then be like, well, wait, we were told we can't say that. Like, I could totally see them doing that to plant the bug or plant the little seed that there's still some sketchiness around whatever they were going to say. And then I could also see the feed cutting out during the victim's family's impact statements if they're said in court.
Yeah, technical error. I can
Mhm.
also see maybe not so much said in the court, but then once they get out in the media, they're going to have a mouthful to say.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where we're probably going to hear it. So, somebody just asked me, would there be any reason why Trump would know about this? And so I'm just going to read this because I started thinking again about how, while yes, he may comment, obviously any president will comment on certain cases. Most times it's not a college town homicide.
Hmm. Well, someone just said that SG did an interview with Laura Trump. Can you see if that's out there floating around the universe? I'm interested to see what SG said to Laura Trump. I think your prediction's pretty accurate. Did you have a crystal ball tonight?
No.
No chat GPT just off the top of your head?
I didn't do chat GPT for those 5 because I wanted it to be just like my predictions.
Genuine. I think the
Yeah.
money's on the money. I didn't even think about that until you brought it up.
The stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um it's I'm
They said, "Oh
looking
my God, SG's everywhere."
I'm trying to look. Does anybody see it?
Laura Trump calls president. No. Steve Goncalves. No, I don't see anything. Whoever dropped that in the chat, do you know what station it was on? Local? That would be Steve did an interview with Laura Trump too. Olivia Kaylee's sister did one. Yeah, we know that one with
We
Brian
saw the
Enton.
Brian Enton one. I didn't see the Steve with Laura Trump though.
Mm-mm.
Well, while if somebody
Search
wants to put
YouTube.
the okay, I mean,
Search
I will look
YouTube.
at, yeah, I am. Laura Trump.
Yeah, I
Steve
talked about the
Goncalves.
99-year contract for the no contact order the state asked for. That's basically to silence BK. It's just a way to keep everybody quiet until they die. You don't find one either?
How old was that interview?
I don't know. Yesterday? Let me see. No additional. We can show on Fox. Laura Trump is filling in for Will.
Oh, so it was that first article.
Yeah. Makes sense when Trump talks. It's money interest. Yeah, it
So
could
it's got
be.
to be this one.
Oh, there it is. When was that? Today?
That was, yep, today.
Okay. He was on with Afternoon this. Looking. Yeah, I've never seen a no contact order for 99 years ever. I've never seen one. Makes me really
Wait,
think about
with who?
the
Oh,
prosecution
yeah,
put in
yeah,
a
yeah,
motion.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
My next guest is currently on his way to Idaho for the hearing tomorrow, where he will be making a statement
Oh, so
as
he's
he
going.
faces the man
So he is
who
going.
murdered his daughter. Joining me now is the father of Kaylee Goncalves, Steve Goncalves. Steve, I don't even know where to begin. You must have so many emotions going into tomorrow, but let me get your reaction to what you heard there from President Trump, that he believes that Kohberger should have to explain himself and why all of this happened. What do you think of that?
Well, the president is the art of the deal. He has a book on that. And I think that's exactly what our family felt like was we have one moment, one time to actually get this right, to set a statement and, you know, get him to maybe show a little remorse, but beyond that, at least give us the facts of what happened, you know, pin yourself down, say some kind of evidence that makes it very obvious that you are part of this case and you can back that up. And then, you know, do the right thing. You're making a plea deal and you're making a deal. It's not like a plea demandment. You're doing a deal, so deal.
Yeah. Is that what you think the other families, would they like to hear from him as well? And have you talked with any of them about how everyone's feeling going into tomorrow?
I've talked with many of the family members. I'm actually with family members right now from Xana's family. So yeah, we all have the curiosity. We all have our limits of what we want.
Which doesn't, wouldn't you say that Xana's mom do an interview on the national news take her out of any possible connection or being affiliated with the reasoning?
Well, she did it on CBN, right? That was the Christian Broadcast Network. And I think, I mean, her interview was more about her being saved in jail. It wasn't really about this case, but when they asked her questions about Xana, she was, you could tell her body language was very uncomfortable. Just very uncomfortable. She wasn't really speaking about the case other than she got a call when she was, I don't know, camping with their church or something. And she didn't really have anything to say about the plea deal.
Right. Appeal for plea under duress by Sherlock Holmes via Idaho Post-Conviction Procedure Act will be filed by Kohberger defense team within 5 minutes of tomorrow's hearing ending. Is that a prediction or is that a headline that you saw?
That would be interesting.
They aren't even going to wait 10 minutes. I'm going to keep playing this.
Want to hear, but I know that we all want this to go away, and the easiest way for it to go away is if this person during his plea gives out information that only he would know, and then we don't have to play these conspiracy games. I mean, it's a deal. You've got to negotiate, and some people don't even understand the most simplest transactions, and I think that's become obvious, and that's why they don't want the media, exposing a poorly brokered deal.
Wow. So it sounds like for you, this would be a moment of.
Don't even understand the most simplest transactions.
I'm going to go back.
And I think that's easiest way for it to go away is if this person during his plea gives out information that only he would know, and then we don't have to play these conspiracy games. I mean, it's a deal.
In my opinion, I'm going to play this too real quick. Oh.
Please retrieve your nearest tinfoil hat. Place hat firmly on your head. Prepare yourself.
I'm thinking chess moves here.
Mm-mm.
He's laying out facts when he's saying the easiest way to make this go away, and I believe that he's referencing a headache or shitstorm incoming, is to have Brian say something only he would know. Because I think that Steve knows Brian can't do that, nor will he do that. And it's going to, right?
Yeah.
Is this like a chess move? We can all agree SG, while he may talk a lot, I don't think Steve is dumb. You know what I mean?
I don't think he is either. I think he's gonna throw something at him that they didn't expect. Like, dude,
Right.
I'm innocent. I'm
Right.
asking to get this right.
Exactly. So that's interesting because he
My brain is a
conspiracies.
tinfoil hat. I had to laugh at that.
Shout out to Festive, first mod on when we transferred over to YouTube.
It just always seems like that way. He knows more than everyone else.
Yes, I'm convinced he's a Fed. I've been convinced that for like 4 months, 5 months now at least.
Well, you've got to negotiate, and some people don't even understand the most simplest transactions, and I think that's become obvious, and that's why they don't want the media, exposing a poorly brokered deal.
Wow. So it sounds like for you, this would be a moment of closure to confirm that indeed you know what happened to your daughter. And I imagine the other families probably feel that way. I understand, Steve, you are planning to speak tomorrow. Anything you can tell us about your statements tomorrow?
It won't just be me. It'll be my daughter and my sons and my wife. We're really trying to sit this through, and what Trump's already done has made a difference because they came out and they told us some of the facts that they've been hiding from us. So we got to rewrite some of those statements to make sure that our last statements are the most accurate as they possibly can be, and that's what we were really going for. So we're rewriting those up, and tomorrow, stay tuned. You're going to hear directly from our family on how we feel about this and what we think of him.
I think a lot of people are expecting.
Is that a little bit weird to say stay tuned?
Yeah. Keep watching. Let me get my popcorn.
Kohberger receives 4 life sentences. Steve, is that enough for you? Is that enough for the families to make up for this?
No, you can't make up for my daughter with a loser's life, even if it's extended in adult care. She was a shining star, and he's not even close. He's not even in the ballpark of possibilities for us. So we can live with it. We want to move on. We can live with this.
What did that mean? Did you guys hear that?
But again,
he's not the guy, but we could live with it.
Tomorrow, stay tuned. You're going to hear directly from our family on how we feel about this and what we think of him.
I think a lot of people are expecting that Kohberger receives 4 life sentences. Steve, is that enough for you? Is that enough for the families to make up for this?
No, you can't make up for my daughter with a loser's life, even if it's extended in adult care. She was a shining star, and he's not even close. He's not even in the ballpark of possibilities for us. So we can live with it. We want to move on. We can live with this. But again,
They
you know,
could.
we've always wanted what was best for.
Now I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Now
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
freaking pissed. This isn't corruption at the finest. I don't know what is, but they could live with it and shit. Oh my
That's
gosh.
a lot to unpack. Let's finish this out.
For our daughter. And we don't want to keep living this for the next 10, 15 years with conspiracies. So get it right. Hopefully he'll man up and he'll
2 mentions of conspiracies within a minute.
he'll give some explanations and doesn't just give one word answers to just get us out of that courtroom. You know, we've waited for 2.5 years. We dragged it to the other side of the state. We did everything for this case to be fair, and then they bailed out at the last minute. Nobody even wants to hold him accountable at all.
What was he about to say?
That's what I'm going back for.
Real quickly, Steve, before we go, maybe
15 years with conspiracies. So get it right. Hopefully he'll man up and he'll give some explanations and doesn't just give one word answers to just get.
Hopefully he'll man up, and maybe he means come out and say, I didn't do this.
Maybe so that they can get it right.
Yes.
Get us out of that courtroom. You know, we've waited for 2.5 years. We dragged it to the other side of the state. We did everything for this case to be
Other side of the state.
No, he said we've done
Oh,
everything for
yeah.
this was he going to say Koberger?
Cover up. Something.
I'm going to go back one more time.
And then they bailed
Sorry,
out
Hive.
at the and he'll give some explanations and doesn't just give one word answers to just get us out of that courtroom. You know, we've waited for 2.5 years. We dragged it to the other side of the state. We did everything for this case to be fair. And then
You saw what I just saw.
Yes. Yes. Go back. One more time.
and they bailed out at the last minute. Nobody even we've always wanted what was best for our daughter, and we don't want to keep living this for the next 10, 15 years with conspiracies. So get it right. Hopefully he'll man up and he'll give some explanations and doesn't just give one word answers to just get us out of that courtroom. You know, we've waited for 2.5 years. We dragged it to the other side of the state. We did everything for this case to be fair, and then they bailed out at the last minute. Nobody even wants to hold him accountable at all.
real quickly, Steve, before we go, maybe you can tell us a little bit, just what you want the world to know about your daughter, Kaylee.
What I want the world to know is my daughter was just like any other guy's daughter. She's beautiful, loved, and fathers, we got to protect our girls. We got to go to bat for our girls and our sons, and we got to put our foot down. We can't crawl up in a ball and cry. I mean, that's something we can do for privately, but eventually we got to be the fathers and the mothers, and we got to stand forward and say enough. We got to protect our kids, and we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to take this weak-minded, pathetic delivery of half justice in backroom plea deals. We got to do better than that.
Well, she's so lucky that she's got you still fighting for her, Steve. So Steve Goncalves, good luck tomorrow to you and all the families, and we appreciate you spending time with us today.
Thank you for your audience. I appreciate it.
What do you think the C word was? I know what I think. Let's see what the chat.
Koberger.
Covert.
Yeah, and to Sherlock's point, why doesn't he care who killed his daughter? That's so bizarre. Think about that. That is essentially what he's saying, is that we could live with that. Right?
He could live with that. Putting an innocent man in prison. He knows. Yeah, we know he knows. That's a no-brainer. It's sad that the media doesn't know that. Can you
they have to know. They have to know, or they're absolutely low IQ, mouth-breathing dumbasses, which probably
they don't care. Yeah, they don't care. Why not go seek true justice? Where are these other people who did this?
I mean, the only thing too, like, so what I had just asked AI.
Oh shoot! Why don't you put that video in there? Did you
No,
to detect?
what it would say. I have to get the
Or
transcript. So, but real quick, I will. I'll try that. But this is just interesting that again, Trump was briefed on the case because Koberger was a part of a government adjacent academic study that lost containment. The victims were either collateral or involved. He may not be tweeting about it, but he knows the official story isn't the full one.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, here, let me put this. I don't know if it can read. Let me see if I can find the transcripts. One second, Hive.
I'm just watching the chat.
Okay.
It sounded to me like he was about to say covert operation, but he caught himself.
Yeah, it's not on YouTube. So I don't know
Could have
how I
been
get the transcript.
cover up.
Well, anyways, Hive, I will be back on stream tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Central. Get in here 30 minutes before the sentencing starts. Bring your tinfoil hats, buckle up, get some good night's sleep, and I will be back in here, like I said, 9:30 a.m. The evening stream will still be normal. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about. So I will still also be on
Normal.
at 7 p.m. Central.
Our
Well, you
streams
know
are
what I
not
mean.
normal.
Normal time. And I do have a tinfoil hat conspiracy today. Not that people probably don't know this, but the battery in your phone, okay? The battery in your phone is never off. So when you turn your phone off, and this is probably, again, rather obvious, but a couple of things that were very interesting about what I was looking up for this and what had come up for a tinfoil hat conspiracy of the day is that there's what's known as power-based side channel tracking. It's been published in white papers. It's talked about by cybersecurity experts, and it's confirmed behavior from the device manufacturers. What they don't tell you is whether your phone's on airplane mode, your location services are turned off, your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi disabled, even if it's powered down, that battery remains active enough to emit micro signals and feed passive tracking systems. So they're still able to track your phone's movement, and it draws power from these side channel tracking whatever's in the battery, that part of it, it goes into there. But it's pretty much it's a interfaced user setting to make you think you're turning it off, but that device is never off. So if you turn your phone off and you think that you're having a private conversation, you may be having a private conversation. However, if that phone is with you, they can still track it. Now, what's interesting with Brian Koberger is, do you remember Steve G had said, we even know how he turned his phone off. We even know this. We even know that. I would be curious if he put it in like what do they call it? Faraday cage? Faraday cage?
Oh yeah, Faraday cage. Yeah.
And
No signal at all.
And what's interesting is, you know how they talked about a burner phone?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a cousin that's in the DEA. He has two phones.
Yeah.
It's got VPN. It's got way different type
Yeah.
protection, encrypted shit on it. Is that really what it was Koberger's burner phone? Is that why it's fully able to turn off and not be tracked?
Probably. He could have had it in a Faraday cage. It could have
Or it
had
could have
some
been
type
a
of
DEA.
other app.
Yep.
Yeah. Or it could have been another app that actually turns it off internally. Those are the only two options. You have an app on top of your phone that actually turns it off.
Exactly.
You know, when I worked in a certain location, place, company, we had Blackberries. You remember those days?
Yep.
Those actually, we had apps on there that would override certain things. So I believe probably they had an app.
like a jailbroken BlackBerry. That was like when I
Yeah.
was in high school. And then I remember I got the Samsung Rumor, and then I had the Motorola Razor, and I thought I was the shit when I had the Razor. The Razors were cool.
Funny.
The
Yeah, they
Razors were
were.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Sprint's razors. Yep.
Hey, Hive. So I'm gonna end this stream, but I'm gonna hop in the Discord. So go ahead, join the lounge. I will be in there probably in 10 minutes, and we will continue this conversation. Like I said, we got a big day tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Central, and then 7 p.m. Central in the evening. I believe that's my first time ever doing 2 streams over here, but I'm excited for it. We're gonna have a lot to talk about. I will see you all in the Discord. Phoenix, thank you as always for popping up. And
Yeah, what an amazing chat tonight. You guys are amazing givers. Just
yes, and let me just say that
incredible
again.
live.
I'm going to go ahead and read these out. So we had Claire and Sherry, Quietly DG, Crystal, Sherry again, Brittany, Motoman, Sherry again, Claire again, Jeremy, Aurora, Sherry, Claire, Adrian. Shout out to you all. Top dog for the chat. Like I said, all the streams are free. So if you guys ever do feel kind enough to do that, I really genuinely appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. The Hive is the best chat on the internet. And I'm very, very thankful and excited that the Hive has turned into what it has. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a great night. Cheers. Thank you, Phoenix.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.